Relying on things that appear strong on the outside when they're not truly strong internally, well, that's a recipe for disaster. And the ensuing damage can be devastating. Hey, what's your source of strength? Welcome to Mornings with Bishop Robert. Thanks for joining me in your spiritual gym. I'm grateful you're here for today's workout. My goal is to introduce people to the Jesus they never knew and help them get to know him and his word personally and better. So if our time together today speaks to your heart, let me invite you to like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Also, join our email list. You'll get a free copy of my book, Count to One, and you'll also get Mornings with Bishop Robert sent directly to your inbox each morning. There's lots of other great benefits, so check out that link in the description and click it and sign up today. Well, on the outside, I could come across as fairly strong, so I've been told, and very self-reliant. Yeah, I'm sure you're shocked. I've got a t-shirt that says, "An enemy that's fearless has never met a Marine." That kind of sums it up. I've been doing karate since I was 12 years old. I hold a 9th degree black belt. I'm an expert with a number of weapons. I. When you have a conversation with someone with whom the majority of their sentence begin with "I this" and "I that," you're dealing with a person who's got a serious problem. Actually, probably more than one. Well, let me share a secret with you. Though on the outside I may seem self-reliant, that is not nearly as true as it might appear. On the inside, I know my weaknesses and my limitations and my failures and my faults, and there's plenty. In fact, on the inside, sometimes I'm pretty much a wimp. Relying on things that appear strong on the outside when they're not truly strong internally is a recipe for disaster. The early morning hours of June 24th last year in Miami, that gave a horrifying illustration of that truth when the Champlain Towers South collapsed, crushing and killing close to 100 residents. There are times when only true strength and only reliable support will do. High-rise buildings, airplanes, cars, these are the first examples that come to mind, but the list could go on for hours. The bottom line is that when the things that we rely on fail and we lose control, our lives can careen out of control. And the damage that follows that, well, that can be devastating. That quickly becomes ay. Because our weaknesses ought to drive us to seek greater strength. Paul's words in today's verse are the ultimate example. Today's verse says, "The Holy Spirit helps us in our weakness." Because Paul knew that he was not the source of his internal strength, he could also say, "When I'm weak, then I'm strong." Because Paul was strong enough to ask for help. Paul knew where he could find a strength that would never fail, a true strength that would support him in, well, any and every circumstance. Oh, and Paul's life was filled with circumstances that proved the power and the presence of God. His ministry required harder labor. He faced more imprisonments and endured worse beatings than many of us ever will. He was in frequent danger of death. 5 times he was publicly whipped by the Jews. 3 times he was beaten with rods. Once he was stoned. That's not a marijuana experience, by the way. Those were real stones. 3 times shipwrecked. He even had to spend a night and a day in the open sea. He reported being in danger from rivers and from bandits, in danger from his countrymen, in danger from the Gentiles, in danger in the city, in danger in the county, in danger on the sea, in danger with false brothers, often without sleep, in hunger and thirst, often without food, in cold, exposure. Not an easy walk. But let me point out two things for you to consider here. First, Paul's faith in God wasn't some sort of a heavenly barrier that offered protection from every crime and crisis we face on earth. Paul never said, "Why are these things happening? I mean, I'm a believer in Jesus." He knew better. If faith in Jesus would inflate your bank account, guarantee your health, provide impressive automobiles, and increase the square footage of your home, well, then we'd have long lines of people waiting outside of every church. Paul knew that Christ's strength was best seen when his own strength had reached its limits long ago. Second, Paul knew that nothing could overcome the strength that Christ gave him. Even in the midst of the most difficult trials, actually, especially in the midst of the most difficult trials. He told the church in Corinth, "We're afflicted in every way, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not despairing. Persecuted, but not abandoned. We're struck down, but we're not destroyed." He knew the Holy Spirit helps us in our weakness because he had seen him help. When God gives the grace to face any trial, he gets the glory. When the Holy Spirit helps us in our weakness, quickly becomes Alleluia. You and I, we can enter into any situation knowing that we don't enter alone. He's promised that he'll always be with us. The Holy Spirit helps us in our weakness. Yeah, sometimes life will collapse around us. There will be days when the wheels fall off. That's true both for those who follow Christ and those who do not. Life hurts. Life exposes my weaknesses. But that's okay, because the Holy Spirit helps us in our weakness. His grace is sufficient, and his strength never fails. Before you go, can I ask you to help me introduce people to the Jesus they never knew and help them get to know him and his word personally and better? Would you please like this video to help more people see it? And then click follow or subscribe so that you and I can get together every single day. Click the link in the description so you sign up for our email list. And of course, one more thing. Please share this video with a friend, would you? Because as you do, why, you're part of the team, touching more than 1 million hearts all over the world with the love of Jesus. Thanks for helping.